Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Bradley Young from the Championship Podcast. Today we are joined by Stoke City fan Alex Pesment, I think he's pronounced as. He's from Aussie. He's from Melbourne, I think he's from. So we'll have him coming on in a bit. But please subscribe to the channel and please hit the like button if you're liking the content down there. Also, can you please also subscribe to the Paul and Lee Show? If you could do that as well, very much appreciated. And both channels don't cost a penny. Literally, they don't cost a single penny. So, this is the Championship updated table where I think each team will finish at the end of the season. So, I'm going to go from bottom to top, what I would normally do. So, 24th in the league. This is going to be a shocker for me. So, 24th in the table, I am going to go for, I don't think they're going to do much this season. I'm going to go for Cardiff City. 24th in the league, Cardiff City have got off to a really, really bad start under their old head coach who got sacked a couple of weeks ago. I'm trying to think of his name. I can't remember his name actually, who got sacked. If people know, please put in the comments as well. Aurora Bullet, that's who the manager is. Good afternoon, Alex.
Hey, how are you?
Not too bad. How's yourself?
Yeah, I'm pretty good.
Good, man. Good. So what we're doing is, Alex, is we are predicting championship table, and basically I'm going to talk a bit about Stoke City this afternoon. So, yeah. So we're going from bottom to top in the championship. I've went for Cardiff City to finish in 24th place. In 24th place, who would you put?
I'd put geez, sorry, I have to think about it, but I know who it is. Just a on the spot question. I was gonna put oh, there's one team I've written off. I'll have to get the table up. There's so many teams.
There is. There's so many teams in the championship, isn't there? There's so many teams.
Oh, let me just think.
No problem. Take your time. No problem. Just take your time.
Can you still hear me while I'm checking the table?
Yeah.
I'm on the different tab. Okay, yeah. So
still hear you.
Oh, it'd have to be. It's such a hard question too. It'd have to be Portsmouth.
Portsmouth to finish bottom of the table. Interesting.
Yeah.
That's an interesting one. Not a bad show, to be honest. Obviously, they lost, I think it was 5-1 to Stoke, I think it was. Was it 5-1, 6-1, I think it was?
Yeah. I've never rated their backline, and us beating them 5-1, even though we have a good set of players and all that, just goes to show that they can't defend. That's just my opinion of them, and they haven't won a game yet, so I'm very concerned about them.
Yeah, I'm very concerned about Portsmouth as well, to be honest. I think Portsmouth is one of them teams who I think will just get relegated straight back down to League One. That's what I think.
I agree with Cardiff, being one of the bottom teams, but I just think they have a good set of players, and they're a bit hot and cold.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So, yeah, you think in Portsmouth, I think Cardiff. So, in 23rd place, who I think is going to finish in 23rd place, I am actually going to say Portsmouth. I think Portsmouth will finish in 23rd place. What about you, Alex?
I reckon this one was hard because Cardiff have convinced me they're probably going to get relegated, but I reckon QPR. I just don't think they have any depth.
Mm-hmm. Well, QPR's manager as well. I'm trying to think of his name. Obviously, Gareth Ainsworth used to be their manager back in League One. It's Marty Culliff just now, isn't it? Something like that.
Mark Serpentes. He's a good manager. He's the only thing that I reckon will save them. But
yeah.
But I just think they don't have the squad anymore. I don't know how they do it every year, honestly.
Exactly, yeah. I don't know how they're doing it either because obviously QPR as well. We've had 1 win, 4 draws, and 4 losses at the moment, and only on 7 points at the moment. So 1 win, 4 draws, and 4 losses. So 22nd place. It's going to be actually a tough one for me. I'm actually going to predict. Hard to predict this. I'm actually going to go Plymouth Argyle. I think 22nd place. I think Plymouth Argyle will finish. Obviously, Wayne Rooney is the manager. I know, obviously, he's gotten off to a pretty slumpy start, but ever since a couple of victories coming home park, I think he's got back on good form at the moment with Plymouth. But I think this good form won't last too long. What do you say, Alex?
It's going to get harder through the middle, but I reckon this one. Look, I wasn't going to say them, but now that I reckon it's going to be Cardiff because they're just not. They're just if they do show any promise, it's only for 1 or 2 games. I just don't think they're going to keep up.
No. 21st place. I'm thinking of a team who's going to finish 21st this season. And this team, I don't think's played to my standards this season. And I normally see them around the playoff spots and that. But I think this season, in 21st place, I'm actually going to give it to Preston North End. That's my quite a bold spot for me. I think obviously Paul Heckenbottom, he's gotten off to a pretty good start since he's joined Preston, but I don't think obviously it's going to last too long either for him. But yeah,
everyone's tipping them to go down, but I think they'll stay up and probably a bit closer to the middle somewhere maybe. But yeah, everyone's been tipping them to go down, so that's probably an accurate prediction.
Charles Whitefield on the chat. You all right, Charles? How are you doing? 20th position. This just gets tougher and tougher. 20th place. I'm actually going to go for Luton Town. I think 20th position. I think Luton Town. Because I think they've gotten off to a pretty bad start under Rob Edwards. I think they've gotten off to a pretty bad start. 2 wins, 2 draws, and 5 losses, and they've only got 8 points. So, to be honest, I thought it would have been a lot higher in the table, but 20th position for me, I think Luton's going to finish. 20th position for you, Alex. Who do you think?
Well, if I had to do 21, I think we missed 21. I would have put Swansea. So the next one would probably be, I reckon, Derby.
Derby. Ooh, Derby. That's quite a bold shout. Derby. Interesting stuff.
Away from home, I just think they're hopeless. That's why.
Away from home, the away form's absolutely shocking than the home form. I think the home form's quite good. It's a bit like Sunderland, to be honest. Our away form's been atrocious this season, but obviously Sunderland's home form, in the other hand, hasn't been too bad either. So,
yeah.
19th position. I am actually going to go, and I'm sorry to hear this. I am actually going to go with Stoke City. That's my prediction. I think they won't get relegated. Put it this way: Stoke won't get relegated to League One. I don't think they're that kind of bad of a level to get relegated. But I don't think they're going to get top half. I think they're going to get mid-table to 20th. That's what I think. But 19th position, Alex, who do you think?
Same reason away form would be Plymouth. I just don't. They're just useless. They won't win a game away from home. Just like I don't think they will. So that's why.
Yeah. 18th position. I'm actually going to go for a really, really, really bold shout here, but I don't think they've been off to a good start either. They only get playoffs as well, this team, and I think the manager's been around for quite a long time. I'm going to go with Coventry City to finish in 18th position. I know it's quite a bold shout again from me, but I don't think Mark Robbins has got off to a good start for Coventry. I think, to be honest, he's gotten off to quite a bad start with 2 wins, 2 draws, and 5 losses. Total of 8 points as well. So, what about you, Alex?
Oh, that's understandable. They always start slow, but they've just lost so many good players. I'd put
Yeah,
if I had to do mine, I'd put. Oh, this one's tough. It's getting tougher.
it's getting
Um,
tougher. Yeah, it's getting tougher.
I'd probably put Hull. I really don't rate them that highly at all.
Hull City. Yeah, yeah, that's understandable.
They've lost
City,
way too many players. Yeah.
they've lost a lot of players. Hull have lost quite a lot of players. 17th. I'm actually thinking we're 10th at the moment in the league on 12 points, but I think we're going to drop. I'm going to go for Oxford United. I think 17th position for me, obviously just got promoted from League One last season. And to be honest, that was quite a good shocker for me. I wasn't expecting Oxford to get promoted to the Championship because quite a lot of the times in the League One, they've always been a playoff team to mid-table at best, but actually got promoted last season from League One to the Championship. Well, I was quite shocked about. But 17th place for you, what do you think?
It's just getting harder. I reckon I might actually pick this one, Millwall. I think Millwall.
Millwall. Ooh.
They're same stuff, different year kind of team. So I think I think Millwall.
16th position. I am actually going to say what you said before in 21st. I'm going to go with Derby. I think Derby will finish in 16th place. To be honest, I don't think quite good enough. Obviously, away from home. The home form's quite solid, but the away form's really, really bad. Obviously, we got beat off Sunderland 2-0 at the Stadium Light as well. Obviously, Derby County, I think, is only one game away from home, and the rest they've won at home and they've lost away from home. So I'm saying 16th place for Derby. What about you, Alex?
Yeah, I thought they'd get relegated, but I don't. Yeah, we both don't think really now. I think oh, I had it. Yeah, I think Preston because I like Paul Heckingbottom, but they're just the striker just got 8-match ban for biting someone, and they're just they
Yeah.
just go through strikers for fun at the moment. They're not much at the moment, really.
Yeah, 16th place Preston. That's not a bad shout, to be honest. 15th place. I'm actually going to predict. It's going to be hard, but I'm going to say Millwall. I think Millwall will finish in 15th spot. To be honest, Millwall always gets off to a pretty bad start as well. But can only catch up by the end of the season. Obviously, Neil Harris is Millwall's manager. I think he's been at the club for quite a few years now. I think he's been at the club. No, he's just joined them, Neil Harris. Quite shocked about that. I thought he had stayed for. I think he's been there 2 seasons, but he hasn't. He was only there this season. But Neil Harris is their manager. Obviously, they only got off to a bad start, Millwall. But yeah, I've got them to finish in 15th. What about you, Alex?
Oh, it's so hard, but I think it would be for me. Oh, this one's so hard. I'm tossing up between Bristol, Stoke, and Oxford. So I'm gonna go with. Oh, how hard could this be? I reckon. Honestly, I reckon Bristol City. Then.
Bristol City. Interesting. Because in 14th position, I've put Bristol City. I think Bristol City will finish in 14th. They'll only finish around mid-table. Anyways, obviously, so far they've got 2 wins, 5 draws, and 2 losses. Obviously, Bristol City manager is... I'm trying to think of his name. Bristol
Liam
City
Manning.
manager. That's it. Liam Manning. What's his name? Used to be the manager of Swansea, I think. He used to be the manager of quite a few years back. I think in MK Dons, I think he used to be manager for as
Yeah,
well
and Oxford.
in Oxford. Yeah. Um. So yeah, I think Bristol City will finish 14th this season. What do you think, Alex? Who do you think will finish 14th?
Oh, this gets more painful. Actually, you know what? Oh, who have I got here? Oh, I reckon. Honestly, I reckon. Actually, no, I'm not going to say that. I reckon. I'm going to go with Oxford. They're a good. I reckon they're a good side, but
Mm-hmm.
I just don't know if they're going to keep up halfway through the season. So maybe they'll drop off a bit.
Yeah. 13th position. Oof, this just gets harder and harder. I'm gonna go right. I'm gonna go for Swansea. I think, to be honest, they're only a mid-table team anyway. Swansea, and only see them around 10th to 14th every season, pretty much. Um, Obviously they've got 12 points. We've had 3 wins, 3 draws, and 3 losses. And Swansea's manager is Luke Williams. That's their manager. Obviously, 1981. He's 43 years of age. Um, Obviously, he spent his time at Swindon as well. I remember his time at Swindon back in 2015-17 season. I remember 15-16-17 season
Mm.
at Swindon. Obviously, he used to be Notts County manager as well. But to be honest, I think he'll do a good job at Swansea. I think he'll finish 13th. What about you?
Uh, uh, oh, it'd have to be. Oh, I just had it in my head. I reckon. Oh, there's so many teams I could choose for this one, but I reckon. Okay, I'm going to decide here. I reckon it's going to be. You know what? Probably Stoke. We'll go Stoke.
Stoke and 13th. Not bad, not too bad.
Yeah, they're my own team. I just, I reckon that they took a good gamble, and I reckon Johnny was a good player. And he's probably got his head screwed on. So I think they've done the right thing. And Stoke's always been money and no brains. So we've let go of players that always come really good, and we let go of an Outovich in the Premier League, and that was our downfall. But I think this approach might actually work. And if it doesn't work this season, well, that's why we're coming 13th. So I think that's
13th.
the reason.
12th place, I've actually went with Hull. I think Hull finished 12th position. We've actually got a decent. We haven't got a decent manager, but we've got an alright manager, Tim Walter. Their manager is obviously. They've gone quite off form since they've lost Liam Rossini. Obviously, really good manager, Liam Rossini as well. But Tim Walter, I haven't really heard of him. He's played in all the foreign leagues. He's played for Hamburger SV. He's played for VfB Stuttgart, Hosty and Kiel. Quite a few foreign teams in there, but I think they'll finish 12th. What about you, Alex?
Oh, I think. Oh, I think it would have to be Luton, because I think they might catch up at the end of the season. They've got Carlton Morris, great player, great player. I was rating him in the top 10 Prem strikers last year, confidently, and but I think even if they catch up and they sign players middle of the window, I just think they're going to drop off after getting relegated. So.
Yeah. So 12th place, Luton Town. 11th place for me. I'm gonna go for. I'm going to say Blackburn Rovers. I think 11th place Blackburn Rovers finish. I don't know much about Blackburn, to be honest, over the past few seasons. I know obviously John Dal Thomason used to be their manager quite a few seasons back. I think it was a season or two back he was their manager. But 11th place, who do you think will finish 11th place, Alex?
I think I had two teams to pick out of here. I reckon it'd be I reckon it'll be probably have to be Middlesbrough. I have to pick Middlesbrough. I just think they just don't have the muscle they used to, and they're just lacking a bit of depth.
Oh, Borough. Yeah, finished 12th. 11th, sorry. In 10th place for me, I'm going to say. Let me think. I'm going to say 10th position. I'm going to say Watford. I think Watford for me has obviously started quite brightly this season, but I think they'll only drop off. So I'm predicting them to finish 10th. What about yourself?
Oh, it's just getting harder. I think it's gonna be. Yeah, I'm gonna say Norwich. I don't rate them away from home, and I think they're a one-man team. Josh Sargent, if he's fit, then they just keep winning at home, pretty much, sort of thing.
Yeah.
I don't rate them.
Mhm. Well, in ninth place, I'm going to go for quite a bold prediction here. I'm actually quite shocked as well why I predicted this team, but I think they're just going to get better as the season goes on. I'm going to say Sheffield Wednesday. I think Wednesday will get ninth place. Obviously, Danny Rowe, really good manager. Obviously, came to them when obviously Darren Moore left the club and went to Port Vale. I think Huddersfield. I think he went to Huddersfield. He went to before Port Vale, and he went to Huddersfield. Before obviously Danny Rowe came in, but I think Danny Rowe is a really good manager. I think he can get them top half of the table easy. What about you, Alex?
Yeah, I'll probably rate them higher than you, but I'm gonna pick who was my next one? It was uh oh yeah, Blackburn. It was Blackburn.
Blackburn Rovers.
Yeah, I think they still have a bit of muscle on them, but not that much. So wherever they are, it's fine. Yep.
Yeah. In eighth place, I'm actually going to predict Norwich. I think Norwich will get eighth place this season. Just obviously outside of the playoffs, though. I think Norwich for me normally gets around fifth and sixth most seasons, but I think this season, I think they're just a one-man team. What obviously Alex mentioned before, I totally agree with him. To be honest, I don't think they'll get playoffs this season. I think between seventh and 10th, I think for Norwich, but I've predicted them in eighth place. What about you, Alex?
What are we up to? 7,
Eighth.
8. Yeah, okay. I've got the right amount of teams. So this one's hard, but I reckon it will be. Oh, oh yeah, it's a hard one, but I reckon I'm gonna have to put. Yeah, I'm gonna have to put Coventry. I think
Coventry.
I just think they've lost a few good players. They've replaced some of them with like Hadji Wright and Ellis Sims, but their back line, not really confident on some of these players. You know.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Seventh place. I'm actually going to go for. Oh, it's so hard. It's getting harder. Um, I'm going to say, right, I think they're going to miss out on playoffs as well. I'm going to go for Leeds United. I think I think this is going to be a tough, bold position because I think quite a few people's got them as promotion. But I think, to be honest, I don't think Leeds will get promoted this season. So I'm predicting them in seventh. What about you, Alex?
I like that prediction because I don't rate them too highly as well because of their away form and all that, and certain teams they can't win against away and all that. But I think I'd probably put them higher. I was going to put again very hard, but I'm going to have to choose out of the two. I think honestly, I think Watford.
Watford.
Because do I? Yeah, actually, I do. There's just too many good teams now. Yeah, so I'm going to put Watford. Just, I think they're quality, and Tom Cleverley's doing really well, but just a bit hot and cold.
Yeah. For me, sixth place, I think West Brom. I think West Brom will finish in sixth place. I think every season you're always seeing them get playoffs pretty much. So I'm predicting them in sixth place. I think they've started quite brightly. As well, they're on 16 points. Obviously, 4 wins, 4 draws, and no, so I'm looking at the wrong team. I'm looking at Leeds. 5 wins, 2 draws, 2 losses. And obviously, West Brom's manager is Carlos Cobrahan. Obviously, he used to be Huddersfield manager. I remember that really well. Used to be really good manager at Huddersfield. But yeah, I think he's got the talent. I think the squad's really, really good as well, in depth as well. I think the squad's really, really good. We've got some decent players, West Brom as well. Like Josh Madger, he's a good player. We've got Michael Johnson. We've got the likes of Tom Fellows and kind of Callum Styles is back there. Obviously, we had him on loan last season from Barnsley. I think he's a really good player, Callum Styles. I rate him quite well, to be honest, compared to some Sunderland fans. Obviously, Lewis Dobbin as well. He's a good player as well from Everton. He's a good forward. So, yeah, I'm predicting West Brom to finish playoffs. What about you, Alex?
I actually think Carlos Colbrand's the best manager in the league, so I say that's a good prediction. Getting him up there. I think, and this one's probably the surprise one for everyone or me, but Sheffield Wednesday, because I just think they're going to go on a hot run sometime in the season, and it hasn't happened yet. They've been quite unlucky so far. I think they've had some referee decisions, but I reckon they'll catch up just like last season. They've got some new players in as well to bolster their squad, and if they can get their away form right, I reckon they'll just do a big winning streak at some point in the season and get up there.
Yeah. Fifth place for me is going to be Middlesbrough. I think Middlesbrough's always been in and around the playoff zones as well. Obviously, Michael Carrick is their manager. Carrick's got them off to a decent start, may I say. He hasn't got them off to a great start, but he's got them off to quite a decent start in the table. Ninth at the moment, 4 wins, 2 draws, 3 losses. Obviously, the away form we need to work out on as well. And for me, obviously, they've got some decent players as well, Middlesbrough. They've got some really good players in them as well. Latif, he's a good player for Middlesbrough. I remember him. Aidan Morris, obviously Tommy Conway as well, Bristol City's forward, who used to play for them. Ben Doak, he's a good player as well. You've got to look at as well. Hayden Hackney, he's a good player. So, to be honest, I'm predicting them to finish 5th. We've got some good players under the belts, and we've got Van der Berg as well from Man United. So.
And they usually pick up at the end of the season as well, so that's right.
Yeah, they normally pick up, don't they? So, yeah, that's why I'm predicting them 5th for. What about yourself, anyway?
It's getting hard. I reckon. I reckon it's your team, mate. You said you're Sunderland, right? Sunderland.
I'm a Sunderland fan. Yes, I'm a Sunderland fan. Yeah.
I never rated them last year because they were too young, but they do have a lot of quality, and they're a year on now. I think they've matured a bit, and they've got. I don't know how they kept Bellingham, for one, and look, they've got some really good players. Dan Neal's not playing well at the moment, but I like the front line now. They've got some goals in them at least, and I think they're just too inconsistent for me, and I reckon they'll still do well because of their home ground, but I don't think they'll get past 5th.
Don't think you'll get past 5th? No.
There's too much quality in the league. That's my opinion. Just too much quality.
Yeah.
All the other teams above them that I'm going to put, I just can't see teams passing them.
4th place. This is actually a shocker for me. I'm actually going to predict Burnley. I think 4th place, Burnley. For me, I think Burnley's quite a good team to put 4th, to be honest. Scott Parker's got them really, really good running in the table. They've got them 3rd at the moment. But I see them dropping the place down in the league by the end of the season. 5 wins, 3 draws, and 1 loss. 14 goals for 4 against and 10 goal difference. Scott Parker as well used to be manager at Fulham and Bournemouth. I remember him really, really well. To be honest, Burnley have got quite a few decent players as well in them as well. They've got the likes of what's his name? Trying to think. Hannibal, obviously he's a handful to hand. Josh Brownhill, he's a good player. We've got Lyle Foster, Jeremy Sarmiento, Nathan Redmond. We've got quite a few decent good players there. We've got Manuel Benson still, who obviously still plays for them. So, yeah I think to be honest, I think in and around I'm going to go fourth Burnley. What about yourself?
Oh, it's hard. Third and fourth for me is just too hard. But I'm gonna put. Oh, it's just too hard. I reckon I'll put West Brom. I didn't rate them last season, but as I said, I knew they'd drop off because I just did not rate them. I'm pretty sure they lost a heap of games at the end. I think Carlos Corberán is the best manager in the league. They brought in the right players and enough players. I think they'll push for at least playoffs, and hopefully they get promoted because I love Carlos. But that's about it. And I'm a Stoke fan, and I'm saying that.
Anyways, for me, in third place, I'm going to go with Sheffield United. Chris Wilder, obviously their manager, obviously had a bit of a stint with them, I think, before Paul Heckingbottom came in the first time. Obviously, he's back with them now. I was quite surprised he would stay with them in the Championship, but obviously, he's got good quality players. Chris Wilder as well for their team. We've got Kiefer Moore. We've got the likes of Gus Hamer. They've got Callum O'Hare. Quite a few players who I can actually name. Amir Hedzodzic. We've got Michael Cooper from Plymouth. We've got quite a few decent good players, you know. And to be honest, I wouldn't be surprised if I see them promoting this season. I wouldn't put it past them, put the automatics this season either. But I think for me, the away form needs to improve because we're getting quite a few draws away from home, and I think we need to turn them into wins. But draws away from home still a point on this board, but to be honest, wins are better than draws at the end of the day. But third for me, Sheffield United. What about you?
Oh, this one's easy for me. I'm going to put Leeds.
Leeds.
They just can't break. They can't break the pattern of away, not winning, not beating teams away from home. Certain teams, you know. I think it's teams that are outside of Yorkshire, and it's just, they keep doing it. So I just don't think they're breaking the pattern, and so their away form's not good enough for me. I think they're third above all the other teams below them because of the amount of quality that they'll have for the rest of the season. And but for me, top two is not for them because they just keep blowing results away from home, and they've already lost a game at home, I think. Oh yeah, they have. And for me, that's just showing they're not going to be invincible at home anyway. So.
Yeah. Second place for me is going to be quite tough, but I'm going to go. My heart says this and my head says this, but I'm going to go with my heart. I'm going to say Sunderland. I think Sunderland for me, I think they're a decent side this season. I think they've got quite a lot of good. We've got quite a good youth and we've got some experience as well. Obviously, what they've brought in the summer. Alan Brown they've brought in. Obviously, Chris Mifflin we've brought in from Bournemouth. Trying to think who else have been brought in. Simon Moore from Coventry. They brought him in as well. Quite a few decent players, to be honest. And to be honest, if the experience can blend in with the youth, and if the youth blend in with the experience both together, I think with John for second, I really think automatic promotion for me is on for Sunderland. What about yourself, Alex?
I'm going to go Sheffield United. I think way too much quality. I don't know how they got Kiefer Moore playing in the Championship, but they did. And well, he's playing well, so that's a good thing. And I just think, they brought in the right players before the window closed. They brought in another winger. I think it was Raksaki, however you say it. And just what they needed. They just got quality everywhere. Hamer, Arbluster, didn't even know who he was before this season. He's amazing. And they've kept Ahmed Hozic, who is a good player at Championship level. Not in the Premier League so much, but I just think they have way too much quality, and they're showing it. They're showing it already.
So second for Sheffield United. My thoughts for top place. I actually put them fourth before, but I don't think they'll finish fourth now. I've swapped Burnley around for Luton Town. I think Luton will finish in fourth. I think, to be honest, I think Luton Town are a good side by the time Christmas comes. I think they'll go on an unbeaten run during Christmas time. But at top place, I have to go Burnley. To be honest, their team is just something else. Obviously, we've got quite a lot of decent players, like I've just mentioned before. So yeah, I'm seeing them to finish top of the league. What about you?
Oh, I didn't even realise you picked. I thought you said Burnley before. I must have confused myself.
Yeah. No,
I,
I swapped them around.
oh, okay.
Yeah,
Yeah,
so,
I'm gonna put Burnley, like a repeat of 2 seasons ago. Burnley first, Sheffield. I just think Burnley, they've drawn 2 games, but
mhm.
they're typical draws. You know, one was against Preston in the Lancashire, or whatever they call it, the Derby, whatever region they're from, because I'm not from England. And then the other one was away to Oxford, Oxford's playing really well at the moment. So
Yeah.
other than that, they're just ploughing teams for fun. They just got way too much quality. It's just like the old Burnley.
So yeah, that's obviously the predictions over. Now we're going to go into the most exciting bit. This part now is going to be the talking with obviously Alex. So obviously he's a Stoke City fan, and to be honest, managers at Sunderland as well. We're going to be talking about Alex Neil. Can you remember Alex Neil, Alex?
Yeah, he's got the same name as me. No, yeah, I remember.
Of course. um, what's your thoughts on Alex Neil then, Alex? What's your thoughts?
Oh, look, I was watching Sunderland before they got to League One. I mean, Championship. I was watching them when because I had a couple games streamed on BN Sports. I think it was the end of the season, yeah, and I think when I was watching that Sunderland team, I was impressed, and I liked the way that he came across. It was very serious, and I'm sure he is. But
Mhm.
I think I've come to realize League One, League Two are quite different leagues, and even when you watch the games live, you just go, I can't watch this the way I watch the Championship. So I think that I may have overrated, you know, maybe him as a manager, but I think he brought in a lot of good players, and I think he wanted it to work. He did bring in a lot of quality players. Um, some of them didn't really live up to it, but he did bring in some good players, whether that was him or not. I think he started to get that across that he was a serious and good manager, quality manager that wanted to get a streak going. But as any manager at Stoke, I just don't think it ever got going really. And towards the end, I heard that he wanted to go on a holiday, or he went on a holiday or something. And I just think it sounds like he gave up. Look, I don't really know. But when I was watching that Sunderland side, I did think he knew what he was doing, sort of manager. And when he was talking to the Stoke and getting interviewed by Stoke TV, and um, he was getting his idea across about what he was about. And look, it's really hard to say, but I just think he didn't really last that long, like in the position. Like after a few months, you kind of went, I don't think he's the kind of guy I thought he was. I don't think he can take us forward. So it's, I know I'm rambling on, but basically what I'm saying is,
Mhm.
yeah, I think he wanted it to work, and he was very serious about it, and he brought in all these good players, but it just it just didn't work, and I think even he knew that in the end, and it just fell apart. So that's really it.
Yeah. Obviously as well, you used to have what's his name as well, ex-Plymouth manager, Stephen Schumacher. That's it. You
Yeah.
used to have him, didn't you, at your club? What's your thoughts on him leaving? Because quite a few fans didn't like him leaving. To be honest, quite a few fans didn't think it was a good idea for him to leave. What's your thoughts on that?
Oh, look again. I'm not really an expert, especially with Stokes managers, because I don't really, because I bet on every team. I seem to pay attention to other teams except Stoke, but I know I know my team, and I know the managers that came through. And I think Steve, I don't know why we hired him in the first place, in the sense of like, um, it just seemed odd because Plymouth were probably a side very, very not a club very different to Plymouth in the sense of I think Plymouth work with what they got. They don't have the wages that that we can spend and the players that we can bring in. And the other thing was Plymouth away from home, they didn't win a game. I'm pretty sure the whole of last season. So I was thinking, why are we bringing in a manager like this? There's got to be a reason. There's got to be a reason we're bringing in a manager from a side well, I don't think he's had any previous experience other than League One or Plymouth. I'm not sure, but I'm
No,
saying I
no, he
think he's
didn't.
come from a very risky background for what Stoke are and what they wanted to be, and he's probably a good manager. But again, with Alex Neil, I think you're just bringing in a manager, and everyone wants it to work, and the manager wants it to work this way, and it just won't happen. But with the new manager and the new approach, I think it can, because I think this guy could be the new Carlos Colberan, or he can't. So, but with Schumacher, I don't think he was the right appointment in the first place, but I think he's a good manager. I just think it's a very different dimension coming to Stoke from Plymouth, and I don't think it was ever going to work,
Yeah.
especially at that time.
Mm-hmm. So yeah. Also, I'm just trying to think about Stoke. To be honest, I don't know much about them. To be honest, but just trying to think. Just trying to think. Yeah. Who's your Who's your decent quality player for Stoke? Do you know who your decent quality player is?
Like who's average, or what do you mean?
Like who's pretty average for you? Yeah, who's pretty average?
Oh,
You would say.
this one's easy. I don't know. Again, this is like bringing in. I mean, Steven Schumacher's a good manager, but this is like bringing in the Steve Schumacher of players. Why did
Mm,
we sign Ben Gibson? Someone's got to explain to me. Look, I know what everyone's thinking. You know, it's Ben Gibson. Yes, he's played in the Prem. He's a good player, championship. Honestly, when I was watching him at Norwich, and I used to have bets on Norwich, I used to have anxiety attacks just whenever he came in the vicinity of the ball. Look, I'm not putting him down as a player, but honestly, I just don't. I think he is the key example of what an average player is. I don't know why we've brought him in. We could have brought in another type of player. What I'm saying is, I just think he's average because he's very inconsistent. He'll pass the ball to their striker once or twice a game.
mhm.
He's done that at Norwich. Other than that, he's not a bad player, and he can score off corners and all that. But I just think he's he may be experienced, but I don't know really what he's going to bring to us, because we are struggling in defence, specifically centre back. We probably have one good defender at the moment, Chiamedu, how you say his name. Other than that, it's really average back there, and I think he is the key example of what a decent player is. He's
Mhm.
good, but it's not what we needed to bring in.
Yeah, and may I ask you this question? How did you become a Stoke City fan? How did you become a Stoke City fan?
I was watching them in high school. I'm actually an Arsenal fan from childhood, and I still am. And I didn't think it'd be possible to support two clubs, especially in England. But because I'm Italian. But
Mhm.
I started supporting Stoke just a couple of years after they came up. So I missed the can't even remember his name, the Rio Fuller days, because I didn't get to watch him. I was just in high school. Started
Yeah.
watching Premier League every year, and so I missed those days. But just after he retired or left, I watched him. So that's when Cameron Jones, Cameron Jerome was around. Glenn Whelan was still around. Everyone was around, and Tony Pulis. And I just loved watching them. I just something I loved about them, and I loved the style of play, because what they did was they went against the grain. They they knew they weren't going to outplay teams at their own game, so they played their own way. And they look, it wasn't. I didn't mind it, because honestly, as long as you're not breaking the laws of the game, like that, if that's how you want to play in it and it's effective, then and so that's how I started supporting Stoke, really, and I just love them. Yeah.
And you said you were not. And you said you were an Arsenal fan, right? You said you were an Arsenal fan.
Yeah, so, and again, I'm not from England, so I'm allowed
Yeah.
to support two teams in England. But yeah, so same colours, but completely different clubs, and they hate each other.
My dad's an Arsenal fan as well, so he'll tell you a lot about Arsenal if he was on here.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah.
What team do you support in Australia, and do you follow Australian football?
It's the A League is. I think it's getting a bit better. I don't turn it on now and go, I want to watch something else. It's quite dull. It's basically a retirement league, and I don't get it. There's probably reasons, but it's every team's financially restricted. So the league's never going to grow. They can't bring in actual players. So there's always going to be people coming from England retiring that want a holiday on the beach, or it's going to be our own young talent. And honestly, I don't. Most players just quit at a young age here, so whatever talent's left could make the A League. So it's a very average league. It's not fun to watch as even the local league here in Queensland. So I'd rather watch that. But I think it's getting slightly better and more entertaining. So I'd like to stick to England though.
Yeah. That's all the questions I've got for you, Alex. Thanks a lot for coming on. I really do appreciate your time. I really do, to be honest. Thank you very much indeed for coming on. I really
Thanks,
do appreciate
mate.
it.
Thanks, because I don't get to talk football much in Australia. Yeah, I'm going to go home now. I've just finished work. So thanks for that. That was very fun. And I like what you do. Have a good day, mate. I don't know what time it is there, but have a good day.
It's 3:38 where we are. It's 3:38 in the afternoon.
Prime of the day, yeah. Well, I'm going to go play FIFA or something. See you, mate. Thanks a lot again.
Mate. Watch what you're doing. Take care, man. Anyways, people, that was Alex from Australia. Very interesting. So, yeah. Very interesting to see his background and views on Stoke and Arsenal. So, yeah. Thank you for tuning in, people. If people's watching on here, there's no comments in the live chat anymore, but I really do appreciate your time and everyone. But yeah, please don't forget to subscribe to the channel, and please don't forget to subscribe to Paul and Lee's show as well, because Paul and Lee's show is absolutely fantastic. Please give them a sub as well. Really much appreciate if you do that. It doesn't cost a single penny anymore, guys. It doesn't cost a single penny. So if you could please subscribe to both channels, that would be great. And please hit the like button as well, what you're watching. All the content, if you like it, please hit the like button. So yeah, it's been fantastic, and we'll see you again very soon. Take care. Goodbye for now from the Championship Podcast.